Good evening. This is Pastor Bob, Sunrise Community Church. How you doing today? It's certainly a cold day out there today. It's 5 degrees when I left my house this morning. We're looking forward to a great time here this weekend. Pastor Dale Edwards will be with us. He's the executive pastor of the American Baptist, and he'll be here this Sunday to bring us the message. He'll be preaching on that famous passage in Philippians chapter 2, verses 5 through 11, where Jesus leaves the splendor of heaven, comes down here, takes on a mortal body, becomes human, goes to the cross, and dies for your and our sins. I can't wait to hear what he's got to tell us about that passage. I'm sure it will be inspiring. I'm sure it will be great. I'm looking forward to it. And then after, he is going to ordain me. I am being ordained into the American Baptist denomination this coming Sunday. I was ordained many years ago with the Assemblies of God, and this Sunday I'm being ordained with the American Baptist. We're looking forward to that. It's going to be a great time. If you're in the area, if you can come, we'd love to have you come join us. I'm excited, and it's just going to be a great time. And then next week, the 21st, we'll be going back to our series on encounters with Jesus, and we will be at the wedding feast in Canaan, where Jesus' mother, Jesus, and the disciples were invited to this wedding feast. And I'm going to give you just a little bit of that tonight. Not much, because I'll give you some more next Friday night, and then we'll have the whole thing on the 21st in Sunday morning service. But here's the thing. Jesus was invited to this wedding. It is where he is going to do his first miracle. Actually, the 11th verse said this is not just a miracle, but it is a miraculous sign. A sign. That's a signifier of saying what you're about, who you're about. You know, if you were running for a public office, if you were a candidate for some political office, you'd pay a lot of attention to how you first told people you were a candidate, because you would want that to make a statement about who you are and what you're going to be about. If you were an entrepreneur and you were going to introduce a new product, you would want to be very careful how you did that to start off with, because you'd want that very first encounter with that advertisement to tell you what that product is about and what it does. If you were a musician and you were about to cut your first album or your first song, I'm sure you'd want to be sure that that told everybody what you're about. Can you imagine this? Jesus is about to go to this wedding in Canaan. They're going to run out of wine, and Jesus' first miracle, actually it says miraculous sign about who he is he's going to turn water into wine. Now, I'm sure it's very good wine, but what does that say about Jesus? His main thing, his first miracle, is to keep the party going? I mean, I thought he came to die and to suffer and to pay the price for my sins. He did, but what is he telling us when he says, my first miracle is about bringing joy, to keep the party going? I'll just give you a snapshot right here. You know, when they had these weddings, they're a big thing back then, because weddings were much bigger back then than they are today. The feast went on for a week or better every time, because it had to do with the whole community, the whole town. We live in an individualistic society today, and we don't really understand the influence of what weddings were back in that society and in that culture. But when Jesus goes to this wedding, there had a guy there. He was called not the wedding planner, but the master of the wedding, or the Lord of the wedding. And his job was to just make sure one thing, that the party was great, that the wedding was great, that it was a wonderful time, that they didn't run out of anything, that everything was good. And now we're just 2 or 3 days into this week-long or even longer wedding feast, and they've run out of wine. What does that say about Jesus when he all of a sudden turns the water into wine? Does it say that he's the real Lord of the banquet? Is that what he's telling us? And what does that tell us about our lives, especially sometimes when we're in our darkest hour? Does he come to bring us joy? Is that what he's showing us? We're going to talk about this and much more next Sunday. We'll give you some more on that next Friday night. Listen, I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you'll be with us this Sunday. If you can't be here in person, please join us on Facebook, and we love to see you. God bless you, each and every one.